Okay, well, Home I'm Darling runs at the Duke of York Theatre in London until the 13th of April, and it will...
We've also stood in front of the garages that are sort of beautifully painted, but there's a reflection of it.
It does have these direct references to Constable, to
intellectual difference in the way that the male and female teachers approach.
Well, hey everybody, and welcome down to Old Alan's and the Shepherd's Hut life. I've taken a nice Saturday evening break, and I'm just down here getting away from it all. I've got my water on the boil, I've got a brew going on, the stove's lit, comfortable, warm, quiet, tucked away from the world. So I'm glad you could join me on my little mini Shepherd's Hut adventure. Tortellinis, chicken and bacon I think, with a pasta sauce. Might not look like much, but it's going to taste good. Magic. I love this little Shepherd's Hut. It is my little sort of home from home. I'll be honest with you, I'm going to have to stop filming in a minute because it's currently 28 degrees in here. So I'm not going to have my clothes on for very much longer. It's going to be sat here in a minute, drinking beer, reading a book, completely naked. So that's not bad for a winter camp, is it? But I will save you that. But yeah, it's nice to get away from it all. And for a former ice cream trailer, this is pretty comfy. I quite like the idea of building something else. And I was thinking the other day, I've got a lot of old farm machinery implements around the place, which have wheels on, big old cast iron wheels, and it might actually be quite nice to build something on a new chassis using those old bits, because the old farm implements aren't any use to me for anything, but if I could use them for something else, that would be good. It's certainly not going to be easy, and like everything, it's going to cost money, but it might be a nice project over the next year or so to do something like that. And if I can do something like that and do a new hut, then maybe I'll end up I don't know, selling this one and keeping the new one, or whatever. But it's all up in here at the minute, and there's just money. Everything's money and time, isn't it? So there's a lot of things that are nice ideas, but they may never happen. But as I say, I do love coming down here. I always have these grand plans that I'm going to go off and do a wild camp somewhere. But then I think it's all just wet, grotty misery, and I don't need to do that. And you know, I know there is an enjoyment in being sort of like making home anywhere, and I get that, I do totally understand that. But this weekend I was going to sort of like go off to this secret little location and hunker down for the night and all that, and then I thought, well, that's going to involve an awful lot of like sorting out of kit and organising time and all this, and here I can literally just throw some stuff in a bag, come down, everything's here, sorted, make my dinner, no one's going to bother me, I'm not going to be moved on by anyone, I'm not breaking any laws, you know, just relaxing. And when you can do a winter camp and just, you know, sit here, it's just ridiculously warm. I know it's not camping, I know it's not wild camping, I know it's not particularly like exciting for you guys to watch because there is no jeopardy. You know, I'm not going to get caught, nothing's going to happen. I've got to say, I love it. It's just chilled and I love that. So I make no apologies for that. But for those of you that haven't seen the trailer tomorrow, tomorrow morning in daylight I will walk you around the trailer. It won't take long, but I'll show you exactly how it was. I'll explain how it was, how it is now, what I did to convert it, because shepherd's huts are stupidly expensive, and obviously, you know, if people have got the money for them and they want one in their garden or whatever, fine, you know, buy one by all means, because the ones that are made by these companies are absolutely lovely. I've got to say, I've seen a few different companies examples close up, and they're lovely, but they're just stupid money. You know, you're looking at 25 grand. This cost me just over £1,000 total, and even that I had to buy quite a lot of stuff new. Were you doing it with recycled things entirely, then you know, you'd do it way cheaper. The most expensive things for me were the roofing, which was new, the stove, which was new, but actually I'll go into this tomorrow morning if I remember. I wouldn't buy that stove again. The cladding on the outside was expensive because it's large sections of timber, so that's always expensive. But if you could find older or use smaller cladding, it would be cheaper. There's definite things I would do differently next time, but yeah, as a start point, this was super easy. And the good news is, for anyone thinking about doing something like this, it's really easy to find old trailers that would be, you know, able to convert into this. But anyway, I digress. I'll show you more of that in the morning. But for now, I'm going to finish my tea, crack open a beer and get naked. Like I say, I'm not going to show you that bit. Great night's sleep, and yeah, just cracking. Had some really heavy rain in the night. Had the windows open. I woke up. It was about 4 o'clock, between sort of 4 and 5, I think it was. I closed this one up because it was quite breezy as well, and there's a danger that it was going to blow in a little bit, so closed that window up, left the other one open. But oh, it's thundering away. It was lovely. Listening to it on the old tin roof, it was great. But yeah, it's 7:45 Sunday morning, so I better. I'm lovely and toasty. It's cold in here now. It's about, well, I said it's cold. I'm not cold. What have we got? Just under 9 degrees. Right, so I've got myself up, got myself going, got some breakfast on. So, yes. So comfy though. Comfy, warm in here, cold out here. I need to get fire on.
That I didn't have time to go figure out that I saved 2 pennies, so it is good stuff. So this is all motivational, this stuff about being practical and not being obvious, because that doesn't get it there. Philosophically pure.
You were right. I told you he's a bad guy, or I told you he was a good. I told you it's kind of an I told you so.
It is an I told you so, yeah, philosophical purist. Well, how does that relate to what
She's relieved it's going to be over. Well, there you are. Was a few uncomfortable hours included. It means peace at home.
Oh, hey, that's breakfast done. It's absolutely tipping it down out there. It's a miserable, sort of grotty kind of a day. Classic sort of like UK winter day, really wet and grey, you know. In here, got my lovely little microclimate. I know I'm being really smug about this, and I make no apologies for that, because I worked hard and I put a lot of effort in to getting this place, and you know, putting the shepherd's hut in here, or the shepherd's hut, 'cause it's not a real one. So I don't apologise for being comfortable right now, but I'm just sat here in my PJs, the fire on, I've got a full belly, I've got a cup of tea. It's humidity in here 56 degrees right now, and it's 24 degrees Celsius. Outside I think it's probably about 6 or 7, maybe a bit higher. Yeah. But it's lovely. I've just sat here listening to the rain, feeling smug, and thinking at some point I'm going to have to go and get wet and do a bit of work outside. But for now, I'm just enjoying just being, you know. Sometimes that's nice, just to be. In between rain showers then, here's the little ice cream trailer shepherd's hut. As you can see, it's just built on a chassis of an existing trailer. In fact, the whole original trailer is inside there. I didn't remove anything except the internal sort of like, you know, ice cream selling counter and things like that, but everything else is largely as it was. Runs on a set of standard large, fairly pneumatic wheels, tyres, fairly large tyres, sort of I think they're actually old sort of Land Rover size. Now behind this cladding, so one of the serving windows here, in this section here was a solid window that didn't open, still there. In this section here is another opening window behind there, so it's covered on the inside and it's covered on the outside, but it's all still there, kept the integrity of the structure. I bolted on large sort of, well, 1.5 by 8-inch beams on the sides there to screw the roof down to. Around here, you can see the roof I had to buy new, as I bought that from a company that actually manufactures shepherd's huts. There's a red kite circling over, it's behind that tree. Come out of the tree in a minute. No, it's going the other way. Oh well. If ever you come and stay down here, red kites, you see them all the time, all day, every day. And then, so on the opposite side of the trailer, if you look in there, I did diagonal windows. So kept that window over there, kept this window here. Figured that was a better way of getting airflow through. So as you can see, it's just very, very simply cladded. I just put battens down the side, timber battens, and screwed the cladding directly onto them. Stovepipe, probably with too many sections on it I could get away with one less section, but I had it, so the longer the chimney the better the draw, so that's why I did that. And I got that advice from a man that sells stoves, so there you go. Bright blue ice cream trailer door still there. I keep meaning to cover that with something, maybe like a decoupage of sort of like pictures of green fields and things like that, and then just you know, seal it up. I'm not sure, might do that in the summer, but I'm also talking about making a new hut altogether, which would mean probably taking this one out, selling it. On the roof there is a solar panel. It's a 105 watt, 110 watt solar panel. As you can just see inside at the moment, there's a lighting strip in there, so that does the lights, and it does charging up of phones, cameras, batteries, and the occasional drill or sort of like, you know, saw or something if I need that down here. Stand up here, you see the curve of the roof, chimney pipe smoking away because the fire's just getting going again, and the wind turbine, which is also wired in to the battery bank which is all kept inside. So back in the comfort and the warmth of the trailer once more, out of the wind. With the cladding inside, the cladding on the outside I had to buy. I had to buy that new. I didn't have any old cladding at the time. These boards actually came off a fence. They're actually tongue groove boards, but they'd been used for some bizarre reason on a fence. The fence had blown over, and I had enough of them to paint them up and use them in here. So once they'd sort of dried out, I popped them in. So that was a freebie. That was, well, in actual fact, I guess I made money on that because I got paid to take the fence away, and then managed to use the materials from it. The floor of the trailer is an absolute mess, but it's exactly as it was. It just has sort of a hard wearing surface very directly onto the boards of the trailer, so I've kept that in. Wheel arches of the trailer still uncovered. It's very, very basic. Sorry, one of my tools fell over. Very, very basic, quickly done this was. Original fiberglass trailer roof with the opening vent, which doesn't open anymore because there's a solid beam that runs across the top there to help support the centre section of the roof, so that's tied onto that. I've got quite a lot of camping gear actually sort of stored up in here at the moment, so it is a bit of a mess. I've got the tent on top's not mine. I've got a tent there that's mine, another tent there that's my mum and dad's, one there, there's one tent in there and a big parachute. So there's quite a lot of kit. There's the bag I brought yesterday. The bed structure, just very simply made again, all reclaimed bits of timber for that, and I just have a thermarest on there. I used to have the bed the other way across, but this trailer is too small for me to do that comfortably. I have to sleep on a diagonal, and I kept rubbing my head on top and all my feet wedged in the bottom. So this is a much nicer way of having it lengthways down here, because for one thing it keeps your feet nice and warm by the stove. The bed is quite a lot longer than I am, and so your feet never get any further than that, and there's a good 9 inches to the stove, so that's all good. Just heating up some water for washing up at the moment. Inside, got radio, that's wired into the batteries, 12 volt old site radio I had, just literally just hung out on the wall, permanently tuned into radio 4. Bookshelf of general books, wildlife books, local maps, walking books, camping books, plant books. Coming over here, this is a photograph of the site in the 1960s. That's the, sorry about the shine on that, let me see if I can reduce that a bit. That's the field as it was in the 1960s with the copse of trees. The shepherd's hut is behind those trees, about where that shiny bit is. So other side of those trees, shiny bit, that's where the shepherd's hut is. The old woodland there with the cows in the woods. So that's the last time it was farmed, and that would have been like probably the mid to late 1960s. This sink unit came in recently. Came out of an old folding caravan thing, or folding camper. Trailer tent, that's the word I'm looking for. Came out of one of those. Classic sort of 1970s job. It does actually have a gas leak on it, which is really annoying, and may well be the reason that the lady sold it. I don't know, but I think I know where it's coming from. It's on a pipe in here, so at some point I will get that apart and get that checked out properly. it is usable, but always you have to always switch the gas off, etc., etc. So I prefer not to use it too much at the moment. And that just runs off a butane bottle stored underneath. The total length of the trailer is about 10 foot, maybe 9. There you go. That's about 6'3" to my fingertips. So you know, it's not massive. 5'9", 5'10", 5'9", by about 9 foot, 9.5 foot. Well, it's time I got on with some work, so time to bash the bramble back a bit.